specialities are.
All right. Thanks, Tamanna, for that. A couple of more names that have come out. Ashwini Vaishnaw, who's been given railways and I&B. Now, remember, Anurag Thakur was dropped from the cabinet this time, and two of his portfolios, I&B and sports. I&B given to Ashwini Vaishnaw and sports given to Chirag Paswan, like we mentioned. I have my colleague Janani joining in. Janani, what are you picking up more on these sort of likely berths that are being given, the cabinet berths?
That's right. So what we're hearing on the ground is the top four positions, that is the Home Ministry, the Defense Ministry, and of course the Finance Ministry and the External Affairs Ministry. Of course, the EM post was much expected, but the other four have been likely to be retained by the same ministers. Remember, these are ministers who have earned the confidence of the PM over the consecutive terms. The last 3 terms, they've held various berths, particularly Finance Minister, who started out as MOS, Finance and Commerce, jumping to Defense and Finance currently. It's likely that all these 4 ministers have been retained at their current positions. We're awaiting the full list of all the ministers and where they've been assigned. We're also going to be watching out who's going to be the new MOS for finance. That's another thing on our radar. But for now, top 4 ministers likely to be retaining their ministry.
Right. So, Janani, very important point here that you made. MOS finance is going to be important. Let's wait for that. But meanwhile, what is the sense that you are picking up from? You have been tracking finance ministry for a long time, and Nirmala Sitharaman in her last interview said that transparency is going to be very, very important, and this budget is going to be about transparency and building the foundation for the next takeoff.
That's right. The first order of business, of course, is going to be the budget. They're also facing a mandate for boosting employment and consumption on the ground. So these two, along with some of the reforms that I've long spoken about, be it tax rate rationalization, be it disinvestment, which has been a particular pebble in the government shoe, these will also have to be looked at, albeit in the lens of having a coalition government and what that does to the dynamics now. So these 3 things on focus, while on the back foot there's also capex push and fiscal consolidation, which have been the continuity message that the government has been sort of pushing over the last 10 years. So all eyes on the budget, of course, likely expected in the first few weeks of July, likely around the dates about 1 month from now. And we'll be looking out for these particular factors: employment, boosting consumption, and of course capex and fiscal consolidation.
All right. Thank you, Janani, for those updates. Few more names coming out. You have Kiren Rijiju, who is given Parliamentary Affairs this time. He was the Minister of Earth Sciences and Food Processing. Before this, you have H.D. Kumaraswamy given Industry and Steel. Dharmendra Pradhan given Education this time. You have Gajendra Singh Shekhawat as well, who's given Minister of Culture and Tourism. So a couple of new names that have come in only on a couple of, actually a lot of names are likely have come out now within the cabinet.
But as Tamanna was pointing out, the core has been retained.
Yes.
External affairs, you cannot take it away from S. Jaishankar.
Yes.
He's done a brilliant job over the last. See, the importance is to project India as a great country. For historical reasons, for some reasons, we have been undermined there. Let me be very candid on this point. The current state of affairs is such that we, as a country, need to be projected. That's the message coming from the Prime Minister, and that's an aspiration of millions of Indians. We want to be there. Now, that's a fantastic job Jaishankar has done, and there are also the diplomatic maneuvers and making sure that whenever there is, for instance, the Russia-Ukraine war that happened, he handled it brilliantly. He said that, look, we will decide what we want. You cannot dictate to us what we should do. In terms of importing oil from Russia and others, while the rest of the world wanted to follow what the West wanted, but we didn't. We clearly focused on what we want, and that's what is going to matter now.
Right. Let's, couple of more names that have come in. You have Annapurna Devi, who's given Women and Child Development this time.